Here on The Story, more reaction pouring in after the president's new White House communications director calls a reporter and unleashes, calling out fellow White House staffers and more. Tonight, he has responded, sending this tweet out moments ago, which we did not get to pull up with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who joins us moments ago. But this was Anthony Scaramucci's response. He said, "I sometimes use colorful language. I will refrain in this arena, but not give up the passionate fight for, @RealDonaldTrump, the president's Twitter agenda. Hashtag Make America Great Again." So Marc Thiessen is a scholar at the American Enterprise Institute. Dana Perino is back with us, and Juan Williams is co-host of The Five. Welcome to all of you. Good to have you with us. Let me get Marc's thoughts first, and we'll go around the horn and come back to Dana. Marc, before you do that, actually, let's put up one more of these quotes so that you can, so the folks at home who may not have seen some of these can see them. And as I pointed out, we're not putting them all up for very good reason, because they're not really PG rated.
It's a family show.
He says, "I'm not Steve Bannon. I'm not trying to build my own brand off of the blank strength of the president. I am here to serve the country." I mean, he's really, has lashed out at a number of people and threatened to fire the entire communications department in the course of this because he was upset that a leak happened that explained who he was having dinner with the president at the White House. Marc.
So I'm speaking as somebody who wants the president to succeed, who wants his agenda to pass. This is an absolute train wreck. This is, think about what's happening. Sarah Huckabee Sanders was just on, and she said that he's just so passionate about the president's agenda. Well, if he's so passionate about the president's agenda, stop stepping on it. Yesterday, they had a big announcement with Foxconn where they're investing billions of dollars in Wisconsin, going to create all these jobs. What do we talk about? We're talking about the president his latest attack on Sessions and whether Sessions is still in a job. Now we're talking, they have the tax reform that they've unveiled today, principles for tax reform. What are we talking about? We're talking about Scaramucci attacking the White House chief of staff as a schizoid paranoiac. They're stepping on their own story. And if they were getting stuff done and this was all just a sideshow, that would be fine. But they're not getting stuff done.
Yeah.
And it's just an absolute train wreck.
And I think, your passion is, a lot of times people talk about, you want to trash the president, you want to support the president, you want to, we want to see the country do well, we hope, no matter what party you represent in this country. So I think that feeling of being fired up when you see something like that it comes out of a patriotic place, I think, and hope, whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican. Because the fact of the matter is, and as Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who is, great to us, and we're really glad she came on tonight, made clear, she said, we want to talk about the jobs outside of the White House. But the problem is that there's so much, when you make it all about you, which is what this appears to do in this particular instance, and the other individuals that you work with, you undercut that message in a huge way. So let's go to the message master, Dana Perino, for another thought on that, Dana.
Well, I do think that, remember in the campaign when the president said, I alone can fix it? This is an instance where actually he alone and is the only one that can actually fix this. And so he obviously has two people that he has relied upon in his White House, and I'm talking in particular now about Chief of Staff Reince Priebus and Anthony Scaramucci, the new communications director. They've both been loyal to the president, as far as I know, and the president is the one that needs to set the tone for these two guys. Now, Sarah Huckabee Sanders in the press briefing today said that the president likes this kind of competition. Now, maybe this has gone too far. It's a little bit of a distraction. Now, I would say, however, I think, one, let's not kid ourselves. Reporters love this kind of thing. They don't want Anthony Scaramucci to dial back his language. This is like the best story that they can do, because I will tell you this. Reporters, human beings, they will always eat dessert first. Okay, so it's much easier and much more fun to write about and talk about the telenovela that is the White House and the palace intrigue. Like, imagine if you had cameras in the Henry VIII's court. Like, this is like what we're saying. It's harder to make them eat their vegetables. Making them write a story only about Foxconn yesterday, or only about tax reform today, or only about health care tomorrow. You can do that, but only you at the top of the White House can make sure that that happens.
Yeah, you got to put the vegetables on the table.
Right.
And no dessert. No dessert. Juan, you think the place is on fire?
I know the place is on fire. I just read about it. But the thing about it, Martha, is it's not just that there's a fire at the White House tonight. It's that nobody inside the White House is interested in getting out. Everybody is locked in a death match. And so what you have is Scaramucci versus Priebus, but also versus Steve Bannon. You can read that in the comments. He personally attacks both men in really scurrilous, scandalous, offensive language. And, you know, people are talking about, well, we have an agenda. This has been a very rough week for the White House, arguably evidence of dysfunction, going from the president attacking his own attorney general to now you have the new communications director attacking the chief of staff and the chief political strategist for President Trump. President Trump, meanwhile, looks as if he's trying to stand back and say, I like creative tension, but it's tension to no end, to no positive outcome.
Yeah.
And it opens up this White House to attacks from its critics. And what I'm noticing is so many of the critics right now are fellow Republicans who are saying, as we've heard from people on this panel, you know, you're not advancing the Republican agenda here. This is all about egos and competition. He said Cain and Abel is what Scaramucci said is his relationship with Priebus. That didn't end so well.
It didn't end very well. All right, thanks, you guys. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more things.